Does it feel like things have slowed down a bit since the new year started? That things aren't going as fast as you would like them to? This is the thing. We think that we're in a pause, well, which we kind of are, but things are actually speeding up. Things are actually going a lot quicker than we think they are because of all the energetic work we're doing. And this is the download I'm getting, is that we might feel like we're on a slow pace, but we're actually going a lot quicker than it seems. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. This is the download I got. You know, it was literally, we think or feel like we're going at a snail's pace, but in actual fact, things are going a lot quicker. And this happened, like my computer was updating and it was at 16%, and I got up and I made myself a cup of tea and got something to eat, and I sat back down and it was still at 16%, and I was like, what the fuck? That's like, there's something wrong here. This is going really slow. And then in the blink of an eye, it just jumped up to 26%. And I got the download. Things are actually going a lot quicker than it seems. When we're in a pause, when we're not doing or being as productive, we can feel like we're actually not moving at all. You know, we think that we have to do things physically for things to move forward. But all of this work that we're doing energetically, all of the healing that we're doing, this is actually moving us forward at a quicker pace. And, you know, I've noticed this over the last 4 years, really, since 2020. You know, the time is flying. It's going by so quickly. But it also feels like it's a lot longer than it was. Like, for example, like a week feels like at least a fucking month, because we're going through so much healing in such a short space of time. You know what I mean? Like, I look back in last week and I remember something, I was like, was that really last week? Jeez, it feels like about a month ago. You know, it really does. And it just makes sense that we're all doing so much energetic healing that time is weird. And we have to stop kind of punishing ourselves saying that we need to be over here. Because in actual fact, we're going at a really, really fast pace. Things are actually balancing out and things are actually speeding up. So I've gotten a few downloads this morning and like over the last week or so of what we're going through at the moment. And that was one of the biggest ones. We are actually going a lot faster than we think. So trust the process. Know that you're not actually slowed down. You're actually speeding up. And everything is actually falling into place as and when it's supposed to. You know, you don't have to be rushing forward. Literally, as I've said before, is being is doing. We're human beings. Being is as productive as doing. So that's one of the downloads I've been getting. So what else is there? I wrote down a few things. Higher heart activations actually is, that was a big one for me. Like for the last few weeks, I've had symptoms around your higher heart chakra, your thymus chakra, is upper chest. So any symptoms around here, pain, or your shoulder blades, or between your shoulder blades, or your shoulders, this is all the heaviness around your heart, your higher heart. And I've had the pain between my shoulder blades for a couple of weeks. And then I was healing my witch wound since Thursday. And my whole upper back was in absolute agony. I could barely move. I couldn't really sleep. Last night was beautiful. It was the first proper night's sleep I got in ages because the pain is alleviating as I'm healing my heart chakra. So if you're getting any activations around your heart chakra, this is what you're doing. You're purging out the last bit of what you need to heal. So this is it. Oh, this is another one, right? Transforming into our best self. This kind of hit me last night. I ended up looking back on my Google Photos since 2017, and I was really upset afterwards. And I was like, why am I so upset? And like initially it was because I look so different to what I used to look. And I was like, who am I now? But it's not actually who I am now, because I know who I am now. I'm looking back on my old self going, who the fuck was she? You know, and I feel such compassion for my old self, because looking back on those photos, I was so in pain. I was so unhappy. My trauma was controlling my life. You know, I was surrounded by people, but in actual fact, I was so unhealthy. I was overweight. You know, I was taking drugs. I was drinking. And the pain in my eyes, the sadness in my eyes. And what the message I got then was, I wrote it down because this is actually so specific. It's like, who I was then is never who you were was never really you. And that's what it was. You know, we think that we're coming into this new version of ourselves. We're in this highest timeline. We're transforming into our best selves. We're healthier. We're happier. We look great. We feel great. But it's such a different place to where we've always been. And so I had that confusion last night. I was like, you know, do I want to look like I did before? And I was like, no. I might look different now, but I look better, I feel healthier, I look happier, and I love my new look. But, you know, looking back on my old self, and like I've done this before. I used to have collages all over my walls of pictures. And a friend I was working with came in, and she thought that every single picture of me was a picture of a different person. And that's the thing. We change into a different version of ourselves, you know, to fit into that world or that season of our lives. And, you know, when I look back on some of those photos last night, and I was like, Jesus, I looked about 50 in some of those photos. I really looked old, and I looked so sad. And you know what was really sad about it was that I can feel the pain that I went through then, because I'm aware now. But I went through all that pain unaware. I lived my life in constant pain, living from my trauma. And that's what that's the message I'm getting. We're all after transforming into something amazing, something magical. We're actually transforming into who we really are, because we've healed that trauma. That trauma doesn't dictate our lives anymore. And I just think that's why I was so upset. It was like I was upset for the girl I used to be. And that is not who I ever was. And that, you know, that's the thing. Every version I was never who I truly am. You know, and I am who I truly am now. And like, it's weird because I used to have dark hair. I used to have a fringe down to about here. You couldn't even fucking see me face. I had chubby cheeks, and I had really heavy weight around my tummy. And I just looked so unhealthy. I looked so unhappy. My eyes were so sad. And I used to wear really dark eyeliner as well. And like, you know, what I see when I look at those photos is I was hiding. I was hiding away from the world. And this is it. We need to start being so grateful for who we're transforming into. A lot of the time that's the message I got as well. We're saying goodbye to our old self once and for all, because that person was not who we are. And that's the weird part. Like, we lived our whole lives thinking that's who we were, but we were never actually truly that person. That person was wearing a mask. That person was hiding behind fucking generations and lifetimes, but this lifetime of childhood trauma, of physical, emotional abuse through our childhood and through our relationships. You know what I mean? That person wasn't real. That person was surviving to just exist, you know, through drinking and drugs to try and forget everything that ever happened to them. And that was it. Like, and I felt such pain for that person that I used to be. But I feel so grateful for the real me now, for the person I am now, because, you know, I might have, you know, less people around me than I did then, but I feel less alone in a sense, because I have myself, I have my health, and I'm not living my whole life in a cloud of darkness. And that's it. So this is about accepting who we really are, who is the new self, the transformed self, and about saying goodbye to our old self once and for all. So what's next? So yeah, there's another message of walking away from those people and situations that no longer serve you. So that's the thing as well. We're saying goodbye to an outdated reality, a false reality. So we're saying goodbye not only to who we were, or, you know, who we thought we were. We're actually having to say goodbye to a lot of people in our environment as well, whether that be family, friends, or otherwise. And that's hard as well, because we're shedding our old skin, we're shedding that old false reality. And in doing so, we also have to shed the people or situations that are not healthy for us anymore. If there's something dragging you down, if there's something that is depleting your soul, if you can't be around that kind of energy, you have every right to set boundaries and walk away. So this is very hard as well, but we need to start making those action steps to create our better selves, to create our better lives. And we need to start by doing that hard part. Like, you know, I've shed that. It's been a couple of years now. I've shed those old skins, but, you know, and those old realities, those old people. But, you know, I'm feeling that for a lot of the collective right now, is that there's a lot of situations that we have to walk away from. And that's something that we have to keep in mind as well. So in doing this, and this is related to my video yesterday, we're owning ourselves, owning our voice, and owning our authenticity. Because when we were in that old reality, we were in a persona to suit our environment. We wore a mask to fit in to that world. we wore a mask to hide from that world as well, because we were afraid to show our true selves. And this is so important. This is a message I'm getting so loudly, is that it's time to start owning who we really are. Start speaking our fucking truth and start just being true to ourselves, being authentic. And we have, like, that's connected to walking away from people and situations, because we masked who we really were to be accepted by people who don't actually really understand who we really are. They only understood that old self that we were, that old mask. So in shedding that mask, in shedding those people and situations, we're learning how to own our voice, speak our truth, and live in our authentic way, to become our true selves, to be proud, loud and proud of who we truly are. That's so important. Owning who you are means letting go of everything you weren't and everyone that isn't in alignment with your soul. This is difficult, but it's so amazing to actually live in a sense of, I don't give a shit what people think. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to be me, and the right people will accept you for that. And if people do not accept you for who you really are, these are not your people. And these are the people you need to let go of. So yeah, we're starting to see, in doing this, we're able to see a path forward. You know, when we're in that mask, when we're in that bubble of trauma, when we're in that old reality, when we're in a false sense of self, we don't see a path forward because we're stuck in that hamster wheel. We're stuck going around in those circles. So how do we see a way forward? We can't. But in shedding all this stuff, in transforming into our best selves, our true selves, owning our authenticity, the path is going to start to unfold. We're going to actually be able to see a future. We're going to be actually able to see where we're going. And that's the beauty of being authentic and following our North Star, our true selves. So what's next? I can barely read my writing, so excuse me. Learning not to stress over the little things. That's the big one. I'm starting to read the law of attraction again. Like when I started my journey, I read the law of attraction and it transformed my life. I was living pure optimistically, optimistic orange energy. That's what my friends started to call me. And I used to be so pessimistic. But fear creeped back in because of toxic family dynamics. I had a fear-based entity attached to me. And up until last week, I still had the energy of, but I want this, but I want this to happen, but is it possible? All that fear, all that doubt kept creeping in. And living in the law of attraction again, I'm starting to release what is fucking stupid. Bullshit. Stressing over the little things. And that's the thing. I was getting angry and triggered over shit that doesn't fucking matter. Really doesn't matter. So this is another thing that we're learning to shed, is stop fucking stressing over things that don't matter. You know what I mean? We're getting angry, we're getting upset over stupid fucking shit, and it's just like, why? Why? We're here for a higher purpose. So getting pissed off over the cat being on the counter, this is for me yesterday. I was so pissed off at her, I was getting angry. And when you get angry with a cat, when you shout at the cat to not do something, she fucking does it 10 times worse, and it's just like, leave it. So I just got to the stage where, why am I even fucking stressed of the cat being on the counter? And then I ended up just giving her the milk in my bowl after my cereal. You know what I mean? And I was just like, what's the fucking big deal? What's the fucking big deal? Why am I getting angry over stupid little things? And this reminded me of every little thing. Stuff that was getting irritating. We get irritated and frustrated over tiny, stupid fucking things. You drop your keys, you get angry with yourself. Don't call yourself stupid. I'm fucking sick of this shit. When I was growing up, I still saw my dad do it. Slapping himself in the fucking head for doing something wrong. I'm like, you don't do that. Calling yourself stupid for doing something wrong. It's like, you're literally shitting all over your inner child, beating the shit out of your inner child every time you punish yourself for doing something, making a silly mistake. And I try to change my cursing. I curse a lot. But instead of, if I do something wrong, instead of saying fuck or shit, I'll say something like shiitake or, something just lighthearted, or what was it? Phytoplasm is another one. It reminds me of plants. Yeah, I'm very weird. But I just say something. I try and change my curses into something a little bit airy fairy. I say whoopsie daisy if I can think of it, just to try and make my my little accidents or mistakes less hard on myself. So yeah, we're learning how not to fucking stress over stupid little things. Do you know what I mean? There's no reason for it. Will it affect you in 5 years? No. And is it going to kill you? No. Live by that fucking motto, and it's just like, why am I worried? And that will alleviate your anger, and that will help you overcome those kind of things as well. So, accepting things as they are. Right, and that's it. Releasing control over things that we can't control. Because a lot of the times, our situations, we actually can't control them. It's up to the universe. Everything is in divine timing. But it's understanding what we can't control and letting that go. And understanding that we need to take action on the things that we can control. Because that's the thing. We're trying to control and take action on things that can't be controlled. And then we're neglecting to take the action on the things that we have control over. So this is so important. It's understanding what parts we can control, and we have to go, here, leave that to the universe, they'll help out. And then the things that we can control, take those action steps towards them. And yeah, so and that reminds me of the prayer, the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's very important. We can try and live by that at the moment. Is understanding that not everything is controllable. Everything is energetic. You know what I mean? So there is certain things. If we push and try and grab at things, it's just going to run away. It's going to be harder. And it's given this energy of, desperation. And then that's going to go further and further away from you. So let go. Relax. Let it all unfold. But remember, you do need to take action on certain things. You can't just sit there and go, you have to be aware. That's serenity prayer. Be aware of what you can do. You can't make something happen without taking action, but you can't force something to happen either without releasing control. And I love that with the law of attraction. It's like literally, if you want something, really want something, you ask for it with love. You imagine it with love. You feel it as if it's already yours with love. And then you receive it with love. And one thing that's so important is when we're manifesting, it's do that visualization. Imagine it as if it's yours. Feel love for it. Daydream all you want. Do the action steps that you can do. But also let it go. When we release that tense desperation, everything just gets easier. The universe helps us along. The universe guides us along. So remember this. We can control some things, but we have to let go of other things as well and let the universe control them. But take action. You know what I mean? On the certain things that you can. You need, if you want something to move forward, you're going to have to understand whether or not you can release control or you need to take those action steps towards it. Because, the answer will always be no if you don't fucking ask the question. Do you know what I mean? If you don't ask, the answer will always be no. You need to be able to, understand when to take action and when to release control. So these are all these kind of downloads I was getting and the energy that we're going through at the moment. Be patient with yourself. Things are actually going really fucking fast. It just doesn't seem that way. Things are speeding up behind the scenes because we're doing all that energetic work. So things are moving, even though they might not seem it. Accept as well that you're letting go of your old self because that person wasn't real and that person was wearing a mask. Let go of the things that no longer serve you. Embrace your new reality and take action on the things you can. Release control on the things you can't. And just enjoy the ride because things are definitely speeding up. Things are getting magical. All the shit that you ever wanted is right here because we're in this highest timeline. It's time to say goodbye to that old reality once and for all. So, thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I'd love nothing more than to help you on your path.